Yeah, this game sucks. Scary games has and will always be a very interesting genre to the video game industry, and even more interestingly, how hit or miss it can be.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Let's Play Candles. I actually have no idea what this is.
There can be these games where horror just leaks around every corner, games that make you just say, nope. Usually, when I see a horror game, unless it's a Gmod horror map, I will be instantly scared and will look at some YouTube comments. Or, you know, just watch this guy saying why it's not scary at all.
Does he see me? He's been outsmarted.
If developers know what they're doing when they are handling with a very scary game, then it can have an incredibly positive impact for the horror genre. And as long as you're not this guy, the games made by people who know what they're doing will hopefully provide a very spooky and nightmaric experience for all people to enjoy. But then there's Piggy. Why? Piggy is a Roblox horror game that was made on September 12th, 2020. The game has over 7 billion visits and has a thriving community. As the title implies, it features the epic characters from Peppa Pig, but in an apocalyptic, zombified, spooky infected setting. Now hang on a minute. A multiplayer horror game that not only has more visits than the population of all humans on Earth, but it also has wonderful reviews and has an active community. So overall, it must be a good game, right? Well, here's the problem. It sucks. Roblox titles are not really the first thought that comes to mind when someone says horror games. And I mean, do I need to explain why? So for a Roblox horror game about Peppa Pig to get 7 billion visits, well, that's kind of shocking, is it not? In order to figure out why this game is where it is today, I shall have to do an in-depth analysis on its community, its gameplay, and its story. So without further ado, let's hop right into this and figure out why this game got so popular. Piggy is a survival horror multiplayer game that can go up to 6 players. Each of the 6 players must survive and complete the objective, which is usually to escape the area. In order to do this, each player must contribute to the team in order to escape the monster. This can include getting items like keys that can open important locked rooms, items that can stun the monster, and other things that also make the gameplay more interesting. Gameplay-wise, this was inspired by Granny, which plays in the exact same formula, except it's now in multiplayer. And story-wise, it's inspired by the Teletubbies 3 campaign. And in case you didn't know, this was all in the Roblox engine. The game modes include Bot, which makes the player a bot, Versus, which makes a player control the monster, there's Player Plus Bot for people that need a little extra assistance in their killing spree, and then there's Infection, which I'll admit is a little intense when you're the last one alive and you're getting chased by like 5 nerds. So I guess the Infection game mode is the only redeeming quality that Piggy has to offer. And in Book 1, why is it called Book and not just Chapter? There are over 12 maps, all with their up and downs, some of them even having twists in them, like Station, which may seem like a station at first, but then as a basement filling with acid, and then a full-on prison? What? Typically on these maps, the escape way is via a secure door, and only one door. That's the main issue with this game, is that after you unlock the door, the monster will just stay there and camp. See, in order to kill the victims, you have to be within a radius of them, which is usually half a feet away. And this door is tiny, so the monster can just stand here and not do anything at all. That is not good game design. There should always be 2 exits at any given map. Of course, you could just stun him via a gun, which stuns the monster for 20 seconds, but that has limited bullets. Thankfully, the gun itself can scare a lot of monsters away. Take a look at this clip. This guy is obviously camping the escape way like a little nerd, and I have a gun, but with no bullets. Thankfully, it seems the gun merely existing scared the monster away, which allows me to escape. Mind games are awesome, but if you don't have a gun, what are you gonna do here? Monsters don't always have to kill you by being within a radius. There are also other ways that can kill you, like these bear traps. Planting one down will cause the player to be stuck for a certain period of time, allowing the monster to get up close and knock you out. There are different types of bear traps, all with their up and downs, so it's really down to personal preference. Speaking of different types, there are different types of skins in this game that you can use as the monster, which you need to obtain by killing a lot of people. And that's it for the gameplay side of things. There were a couple things I've missed in this, like the sprinting option and other mechanics in this game, but whatever. Let's move on to the story. Of course, if a Roblox game is gonna have a horror game about characters from a show which includes a series of maps, it's gonna have a story. And Piggy's story is, it's okay. Piggy's story has never really been the selling point of the game. It's alright, but I would be lying if I said it did not have cut corners. Like, for example, how do the characters speak English very well and are like 7 feet tall despite being toddlers? How is this Peppa Pig's house when in the show it looks like this? You know, stuff like that. But despite that, the story is, it's pretty alright. Reading off of this post, the story is that you are a police officer investigating the disappearance of George Pig. When you arrive on the scene, you get knocked out by a mysterious pig and wake up in the bedroom you have never seen before. You must escape the room before you get tracked down and get killed by the strange pig. This is pretty much an overview of the house at part 1. After you escape the house, you explore a lot of other places like the forest that reveals that Danny has become the spooky monster, and these military guys that have also become spooky monsters. Like I said, the story is inspired by Teletubbies 3 campaign, and if you think about it, it's pretty much the exact same. It starts with characters that are living normal happy lives to only become infected with some substance, so the main protagonist has to go and investigate the source of the infection. During our journey, we meet other characters along the way, some of them unfortunately dying mid-game right in front of you. You get to these facilities that should have people alive and will help you, only to be dead, and some of them even being zombies. And in the end, there's a quote-unquote final boss that you have to defeat. That's pretty much the story of Piggy and Teletubbies 3. However, Piggy has continued with a book 2, which isn't complete yet. I know I skimmed over a lot of stuff in the story, but like I said, it's a lot like the Teletubbies 3 campaign, so you can think of it as just that, but with Peppa Pig characters. I think the developers of Piggy have a slight disconnect with the actual show. In the show, they are toddlers that constantly whine and are British.
Wow! Molly's digging a long tunnel!
But in the game, they are taller than the frickin' player, and they talk in a very mature tone. Perhaps this game is taking place in the future? Pony in the show is annoying and generally a huge nerd, but now he has a beanie and looks like a guy that sells drugs down on the street. Many of the characters actually have weapons in the game, like Zizzy with a sword and Rebecca with a carrot crossbow. You'd think they help you take down the monster, but for some reason, you have to find food in these places only to feed them and then stun the monster. Can't they just, help me? Why do I have to feed you for you to be useful? Screw you, Zizzy. But yeah, that's pretty much about it for the story of book 1 of Piggy. So now let's continue on to my final point I want to talk about, the community. I'm gonna say this right now, every community in every game is not perfect. Each community will always have these groups of people that will just be toxic and draw really weird stuff. And of course, there is always gonna be very good people a part of every community, Piggy included. But something about Piggy's community is just, Christ, it's awful. They picture these toddlers in situations where they hang themselves and they kiss, and it's just really gross. If anything, it's also parallel to Teletubbies 3 community. I know I'm comparing this game a lot with Teletubbies 3, but these two games have a lot in common, even on the community side of things. And the worst part about these is that they call these memes. Memes are supposed to be something funny, something enjoyable, and will give you a quick laugh. But these memes are extremely edgy, sadistic, and have stories that only a 6-year-old would make. It's genuinely awful stuff. I mean, these guys are toddlers. And yes, I know that there are good people in the community that are actually sane people and are very supportive to its creators. It's just a matter of how much a community is associated with the bad and toxic people. Games like FNAF and Minecraft have gained a huge association with people like this, and Piggy is no exception. 9 times out of 10, Piggy's community is always associated with stuff like this. This is horrible. I don't know why people do this. In conclusion, Piggy is a horror Roblox horror game that exists. It has more visits than the population of humanity itself, and over the months it has gained a really, really bad reputation for its community, and it is generally just kind of an unscary and dumb poopy poo fart video game. Don't play Piggy, it sucks.